What's up, and welcome to episode 58 of Brewing Through the Multiverse. My name's Mike,
And I'm Troy.
and we're a Magic the Gathering podcast. All right, so first off, how are you doing, man? How's it going?
I'm doing good. A little bit of a gray morning out this morning, but perfect for talking a little Magic. So
Absolutely. Magic is definitely what we talk about. That's why I'm jumping right in. I'm pretty excited. I really like this new set. I went out, I did the pre-release this weekend. We have it coming out in 2 days on Arena. I spent all night last night brewing future decks. What I did is I on Arena, I set up all of my lands and everything for these new decks and saved them as like uncompleted decks. That way, as soon as the cards are in, my land base is built. I'm ready to go. Throw the cards in.
nice.
So
I didn't do an actual pre-release. I went out yesterday and actually bought a couple. I bought two of the pre-release kits. And had some like decent pulls and stuff. Nothing too crazy, but jump in. Let me know about how your pre-release experience went.
Yeah. All right. So I did go on Friday. I was excited to get there. I was unaware that the boxes are given out in their clans. So each pre-release box is dedicated as Jeskai, Abzan, and such. I was unaware when we got there.
Let me jump in right here because I'm confused about this whole thing too, because when I went to the card shop that I went to yesterday, walk in and asked the guy if he had the Dragonstorm pre-release kits, and he was like, yeah, they're on the table right there, and he had a box of them. So I'm assuming this is what he got from Wizards basically, and all of the Abzan ones were gone. Somebody had come and bought all the Abzan ones clearly. And then he had the, I think 4 other ones there. And I grabbed 2 of the Mardu ones, and I was surprised as well. I didn't know that it was supposed to work like this, but what is it exactly? Because when I opened it, it wasn't, the boxes were different. They weren't like, it wasn't all Mardu themed.
Yeah, so the way it works, and they did this in the old cons also. They've done this in a few sets where they're coming in boxes. And with 3 colors, it's a little hard to randomly pull enough synergy. So what they do is they help out. So it's one less booster pack, but they have a prefabricated pack that has those colors. It should have a land for those colors, a few gold uncommons, gold common, and a rare that it will be dedicated towards Jeskai. Now, that doesn't mean you have to build whatever color you have, but it's their way of like, hey, this is a 3-color set. Let's help you get 3 colors.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel like about how effective that is, kind of, because you're getting one pack that's kind of skewed towards the theme of your pack, but then everything else is still 100% random, right? So
yes. But like at the end of the day, let's say you got the Mardu and you open it up and you have your one pack where it has the Mardu rare, the lands. So you have a base. Now you open up your other 5 packs. Even if you don't get any other Mardu stuff, there's a chance you got some red, white. I mean, you have an even color of red, white, and black. So it's to help. And that, again, it also doesn't mean you can. If some of your other rares are bangers and they can use the colors, go for it. But it's just their way of trying to have the clans have an identity in a really, really tight, limited thing like sealed. Like draft, I'm sure you could draft it a little easier, but the sealed, they're like, let's.
Well, so how do you feel about that altogether? Do you like that, or?
Yes, specifically for pre-release, because showing up for pre-release, I did want to play a clan. I wanted to do 3 colors, but I am a 2-color person. I do not risk a 3rd color in limited. Like ever, unless I have to. It's an emergency thing. So being able to kind of be hand-fed the ability to and allow me to experience the cons, the Tarkir clans as it should, I think it was really good. Doing the the pre-release this way. It felt good. I did end up I was given a Jeskai box, and I did end up building Jeskai, even though most of my rares that I pulled were green. It was still strong enough. So
Crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
So how many rares did you put into your like 40 card build there?
So I think I had 5 in there, but the caveat is
that's solid.
well, 2 of them were the basic land colors. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
2 of my 5 packs were fucking land rares, which was such a bummer. So 2 of them were land rares, 2 of them were green bombs, and then I don't know, one of them I ended up working because it was a blue rare. Like, my rares were trash, and I was very upset. I didn't want to build Jeskai in the first place. I'm not a mid-range, sneaky, keep mana up player. That's what I was given. All my rares were not in these colors. They were not attainable. I ended up having to build Jeskai. And like I said, the rares, 2 of them were the red land and the blue land, so they were kind of useless. My other rares ended up being the Boros Siege. So the Boros Siege is the one where you could either, at the beginning of your upkeep, you could double attack triggers, or you can get a 1/1 goblin each turn, and it has lifelink and haste for a turn.
So those are enchantments, the sieges?
Yeah. The siege is the enchantment when you could pick one or the other.
Right.
So that was kind of useless too, because I mean, a 1/1 goblin ain't gonna do anything, you know. And then the other one,
goblins.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. But okay, so ultimately, what I'm saying is the rares weren't that good. I had the Dragonologist, which is that 2 mana blue one. When it enters, you get you can look at the top 6 and show a dragon or an instant or a sorcery, and you can put it into your hand. That was honestly the best one, because a lot of times I needed a dragon, and that was the thing. So Dragonologist was my bomb in the set.
All right. Yeah. So tell me how you made it work, because I know you ended up doing quite well.
Yeah. I ended up going undefeated. I took it down. The shop had a new thing right now where for pre-release, it's always been pack per win. If you win, you get a pack. And then the goal is to win 3 games, you get 3 packs. They were doing a special event, or I don't know if it's how it's going to be moving forwards. If you go undefeated, you get a 4th pack. And that was my goal. And I did. I ended up bringing it. Let's open this up here. Okay. All right. So the card that my rare pack had was the Flamehold Grappler and that Siege that I told you about. But Flamehold Grappler ended up being phenomenal. So it is Jeskai, blue, red, white, 3/3 with first strike. When this creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn. You may choose new targets. There's a lot of 1 in red removal in the set, so I had one of them. And how many times I cast this and then burned 2 creatures with 1 spell, and now I have a 3/3 first strike to block, and I was able to burn 2 people. So this was a good change the tempo of the entire game card to cast, turn 6, turn 7, once they were getting this little board of 2 3s and 4 2s and such. So this card was huge for me.
Yeah. So would this work as well, like with the siege? If you have this on the battlefield and then you play your 2 mana enchantment, you're going to get a second copy of that as well?
No, the siege is only attack triggers. And this would be an ETB trigger or whatever. So no, unfortunately that didn't work. That's why, like I said, that siege was kind of useless, because that first half of attack triggers, you got to build around it, and then the goblins were.
This wouldn't put a token copy of the enchantment on the battlefield, though, if you cast the.
If you cast this as the spell, yes, absolutely, it would. Yes, it would put out 2 of them. Yeah, but I used it for removal. But you're right. Honestly,
I mean, that's probably the best way. I think the removal is the way to go. But if that's all you had in your hand or something, could be another way to utilize it.
God, Troy, I didn't even think about that when I had it in hand. Not once did I think maybe I make a second dragon with her. So that's
Right.
actually a really good call.
Yeah.
Fuck. Makes this card even better.
Right. This card actually could be solid. Because when this creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn when you cast it. So you'd have to have a lot of mana if you want to get a second copy of something big. But say you have this in your hand late game and you have 7 mana on the battlefield and you have a 4 mana dragon in your hand too, right? Then you could have this on the battlefield. You play this, it gets onto the battlefield, then you cast a dragon, you get 2 copies of it.
So, yeah, dude, I mean, for 6 mana, you could cast this and then cast a Scroll and Crawler, and then you have 2 Scroll and Crawlers.
Nice.
Yeah.
New build.
Hell yeah. Yeah, there it is. We're doing it.
All right, so it sounds like this was kind of key to you winning, though, or did you have any other kind of engine pieces?
Yeah, I'll just highlight a few quick cards and just say how they all went together.
Go for it.
So another card that really did a lot of work was Glacial Dragon Hunt, which is blue-red. It's a sorcery. You can draw a card, then discard a card. If you discard a non-land card, it deals 3 damage to target creature, and it has Harmonize. So it's a great way to draw a card when you need it, and I destroyed a lot of creatures. Let me say that my deck had 7 removal spells. So that's kind of how I got where I needed to be, was just really controlling the board state.
Yeah. Well, that's always is that top of the what's that like anagram? Bread. So it's not. What's the number one?
Number 1 is bombs. You got to have them bombs.
Yeah, right. And then removals next most important.
Yeah. And that's always like my recommendation to people if they're building limited or any sort of, sealed deck is as much removal as you could fit. If you have to splash in a color for more removal, that's all you need. That's what wins games, because how do you get rid of bombs is with removal. So you have more removal than bombs, you win.
Yeah, I mean, and I think limited games are so often won. They get really grindy, and they're so often won with that 2/2 flyer. You know what I mean? Like that little bit of damage that you just keep chipping in with, turn after turn. So, you don't. A lot of times I think just having the removal and then having those basic creatures, will end up winning you games.
Yeah. High and tight. That's all you need.
There you go.
Yeah. So, all right. So another creature that I had in here that was pretty good was Monastery Messenger. So you could cast it for red, white, and blue. So it's a 3 mana 2/3 with flying and vigilance. The vigilance is huge. When it enters, put up to 1 target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard on top of your library. I use this every time, again, for more removal. I would drop this bird down. It's a 2/3 flyer, and then it would return a removal card in my graveyard to my hand. It can't take creatures, so just give me removal.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's a great limited card right there. And what do you know? A 2/3 flyer.
Yeah, with vigilance. That vigilance, how many times?
Yeah.
And one of my favorite cards to cast in the deck was Jeskai Shrinekeeper. It's 5 mana, 2 in Jeskai for a 3/3, but it has flying and haste. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain a life and draw a card. And it was just so great to have like a little board stall, some ground creatures to block and everything, and then just drop this, swing right away, deal that damage, gain that life, get that card draw. This was the most annoying thing, and this is what everyone had to waste all their removal on, was just a 3/3 in the air. And I had already drawn a card or 2 from it anyway, so go ahead, remove it. Good card. And notably a dragon, so it helps with all dragon synergies.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the best card in the deck, actually. Is a common Omen dragon. It is Tarkir Island Dragon. It's 6 mana for a 4/4 with flying and ward 2. Its Omen is tap up to 1 target creature, draw a card. I had 4 of these. Now I drew 5. I pulled 5 in my packs. I ran 4. I learned that the Omens, which we were kind of shit talking, that it's worse than adventure. Like you have to shuffle it into your library. That's
Right.
bullshit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, dude, it worked out fantastic because with 4 of these, and every time, like in the early game, obviously, I don't have 6 mana. I'm just casting this to get triggers, tap up creatures to get swings in, cast it on their turn to tap a creature that you don't want swung at you. And then you also draw a card and then shuffle it back in so that way you could still see that dragon or you could redo the thing. Honestly, this is the card I cast the most for both omens and then finishing off with dragons. So be very aware that omen cards are not as bad as they look. Just because they don't work like in an adventure does not mean they're not as good as adventures.
Yeah, I think they must be a little bit better even for limited too, because when you're playing that 40 card deck, it's a small pile basically. You know what I mean? So just putting something back into your library to be able to use it again, basically getting 2 cards for 1 is going to be valuable.
Yeah, dude,
a lot.
200%. Yes.
Did you run 40 for your first game? A lot of times I'll go a little bit higher for the first game.
Yeah, I went 44 because a lot of my deck is card draw. I had 2 of those spells that were draw 3. I had the red version of this dragon where its omen instant is draw 2, discard a card. I had a lot of card draw, so I pumped it up a little bit just in case I started milling myself out. Which, have you ever done that? Have you ever milled yourself out in a limited event?
I think in limited, yeah. Again, it's 40, and if they're milling you for anything, then all of a sudden, you're on like turn 4 and you got 18 cards left. You know what I mean? It's like, it goes quick. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just played yesterday. I did Murders of Karlov Manor on Arena,
Nice.
The quick draft, and I was on game 7. I was about to win all 7. I'd lost 2, so it was my final game, and I held ground until my opponent milled himself out. But he had that living lore card out, which when he has nothing on his library, it becomes a 10/10 flyer. And it just literally, I thought I won because I milled him out. I didn't read it. And then instead of him exploding, the creature just gets a 10/10 flyer and swings fatal.
That's crazy. I mean, who's expecting that?
Yeah. I had removal too, and I removed a different creature because I didn't read it. That was
you didn't know the card, and you were probably just assuming it was like a more vanilla creature.
Yeah, it was like a 3/3 on the ground. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But so yeah, that
any others to call out from your
one more fella here. So Sage of the Skies is a 3 mana.
Okay.
When you cast this spell, if you've cast another spell this turn, copy this spell. Flying and lifelink.
Okay, this is sweet. Actually, I really like this.
Yeah, and what I didn't realize until now that you had pointed it out, is if I had that Flame Grappler. So if I cast Flame Grappler and then I cast Sage of the Skies, I get 3. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Also, I saw this card and I was thinking about this one for standard too. So if you have this in a 60 card deck and you have like 2 of them in your hand, let's say even you cast like maybe this goes into like a Boros Shell or something like that, and you cast like a 1 mana burn spell, and then you cast this and it gives you 2 copies, and then you cast another one of these and it gives you 2 copies. You know what I mean? For 6, you're getting 4 copies. That could be decent too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, any 1 mana spell that helps you out, and then suddenly you're getting fucking a lot of lifelink flying. This is a cool card. I really like this one.
Yeah. I definitely see some shenanigans happening with that one. So any other thoughts on this set altogether? I know you bought a box. Have you gotten any commander stuff from it? Any cards? Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a lot. I bought a box. I bought some collector packs, and I did some whatnot to get some cards through that. And my box was terrible. I didn't pull anything. Well, I guess let me rephrase this. I'm saying I didn't pull anything. The problem is a lot of these cards are 3-color cards. They're specifically Abzan or Mardu or anything. So they're not fitting any shells in standard that are currently viable.
Right.
And they're also not going into any commander decks that are less than 3 colors. So these cards have a very limited spot to go. I'm not saying they're not good, but pulling these, unless you're building around them or already have a Mardu deck, it's not really that useful. So that's the downside of these cards. Is as cool as they are as 3 colors with all these abilities, there's not a lot of homes for them. That's what I found out opening up these boxes. The best thing I pulled though was in on Whatnot. I pulled the Dracogenesis Shadow showcase, and then I also pulled a borderless foil Elspeth in my collector pack.
That's
so
sweet.
That was cool.
Yeah. How much is that right now?
$30, $35, something like that.
Nice. Yeah. There's nothing crazy. I thought there was some cards in this that would be, a little bit higher value. I feel like nothing's spiked up that much yet. But
Ugin was 70 there for a minute.
Okay.
I think he's 55 now. But other than that, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. But it's interesting because I think that, a lot of people like this one, and I'm definitely right there with it. I like this theme way more than Aether Drift before this, right?
Yeah. No, honestly, I had more fun opening Aether Drift.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I as great as Tarkir is, I think Aether Drift held up. I really do.
Yeah, that's fair. I always say too that I think like I was saying that about Aether Drift and about like Thunder Junction and stuff that, even when I'm not as a big fan of the themes of some of those sets, I still think the execution is good generally,
Yeah.
And there's definitely a bunch of cards from Aether Drift that I think are cool and I'm looking out for, So I guess speaking of that, I went to the shop yesterday. I was digging through the dollar bins a bit. And I know one of the last episodes that you were on with Joel, you guys were talking about my dollar bin finds and anything that's so like a pricier card, a diamond in the rough, if you will.
Yeah.
So I guess yesterday, let's see. A lot of times it's what it is that they're not as flashy, right? It's not the flashiest cards that you'll find in there that are the high value ones, and that's why they get left in there, kind of.
Right.
I think so. I know I got I think it's Soul Warden that 1 mana white pip gains you a life whenever any creature enters the battlefield, and it's just it's a $4 card,
is it really?
Bin. Yeah,
nice. In the dollar bin.
Yep. I got this card I thought was more expensive. It's still a good value to be in the dollar bin, but I got a Defiler of Vigor in there yesterday. Yeah, it's only a couple dollars at this point, I guess, but this card is I think you run this in something too, right? I feel like I saw you play this recently.
Yeah, I definitely I have a copy, and I want to say it's in Kate the Cage Brawler.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But I mean, it just puts a 1/1 counter on all your creatures, like
every time you cast a green permanent spell. Yeah, and then you can pay 2 life, and they cost 1 green pip less to cast. You could get some big stuff
for
out.
5.
Yeah. Yep.
Good find.
Let's see. I got a Iron Scale Hydra.
All right.
This is also just a few dollar card. Thanks for typing these in.
Yeah. Ooh.
$2.50, but you know, I've been doing some stuff with some hydras, and this it seems like a pretty good effect. You know, maybe the mana cost is a little steep at 5, but it's still a good. It's just a good effect. It's good value.
Yeah. It negates damage coming at it, and you put a 1/1 counter on it. And if you swing with it and they block it, it gets a counter on it. Can't kill this motherfucker.
Sometimes I find cards in there that I think are going to be higher value, and then they're actually pretty cheap. I got a foil Gruff Triplets.
Oh, nice.
You know, but it's only like a 50-cent card actually. But I feel like, you know, it's funny sometimes. Like I would have assumed this was a few dollars at least, and you know, I feel like it probably will be a few dollars at some point. You know?
Yeah. The problem is there's no mono green standard decks right now.
Yeah,
and this has to be mono green because of the 3 pips. So
yeah.
It's this fucking phenomenal card that just doesn't have a home, so it's not valuable. But the second it finds a home, suddenly, you know, this card will get its due. Because if you're doing anything with 1/1 counters or tokens, or even like a little bit of, you know, sacrifice, like cast a gruff triplets, sacrifice it for some ability, it'll put the 1/1 counters on its tokens. You get the gruff triplets back from the graveyard when you sacrificed it, and now it makes 2. Like, this card's crazy.
It is. It's crazy. When I lose to this all the time in standard. Really?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you
Not
think
all the time, but it's just like when I see it on the ladder, it's really good.
Do you think it's gonna have a home in an Abzan deck because you have the black to sacrifice it, the white to protect it?
Maybe, but the three green pips, like you said, is steep. If it was 2 green pips, I think it would be a lot easier to cast.
Well, you know? So that's why I've been working on my mana bases last night.
Yeah.
In order to get 3 color mana base right now in our standard, you have to use a mixture of the surveil lands, specifically because 1, they let you look a card deep and like do a little bit of ciphering, but 2, they're called, you know, island swamps or whatever. They have the names on them. Yeah, and that's important because the second one you run is the verges, and the verges tap for 1 color. Yeah. And they 1 color, but unless you have an island or something, then it taps for the other. So that the surveils help them, and they help the surveils.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't consider that, but that is good synergy there, just in your land base.
Yeah, because it's a tough. And then the third one you run is the shocklands, the ones that tap for either color if you pay 1 life. But you can't go crazy on them because you'll fucking kill yourself real quick. So what I've been doing is 2, 2, and 2 of each of the 3 color bases, and that leaves you enough room to run a basic of each and like 2 utility lands. So we'll see how it works, but I'm trying to make it where 3 color pips can still fit in a 3 color deck.
I mean, I don't know. I have even with the So for standard recently, you know, in anticipation of the new set coming up, I've been playing the Esper bounce deck on the ladder, and I had dropped all the way down to bronze, I think, on the constructed ladder in standard, and then, you know, just kind of tuned that deck up a little bit and started grinding and made my way up to like gold. I'm at like gold 2 now or something. So that just, you know, shows you like my win rate was probably like 70% or something.
Nice.
So it's pretty sweet, you know. But even in that deck, I have trouble with the mana base, you know, and most of those things really are just they are pretty much all just 1 color pip, you know. Have you been I'm sure you've still been coming up against that deck a little bit on the ladder when you're playing?
Honestly, it hasn't been a problem for me though. I haven't been getting my butt whooped by it. Right now
Yeah.
I'm in gold right now. So
Mhm.
it's showing up, but not an issue. The biggest issue I have right now actually is the mono red decks. I
Yeah.
feel like they're a
Yeah.
little fucking angry. I mean, turn 3, turn
Yeah.
4, I'm getting knocked out. And
No, it's
even
tough.
if you have removal now, they're mixing colors. Red white has been what I've been seeing, and it's just the red deck, but they're running Sheltered by Ghosts.
Mm,
So
okay. Yeah.
turn 1, they drop a monastery.
Mhm.
Turn 2, they drop a Shelter of the Ghosts, which triggers the prowess, removes
Mm,
your creature, and gives it the ward too. So like on turn 3, when I'm supposed to be cut downing, I fucking can't, because I have to put all my mana into cutting down one creature, but there's 3 I need to cut down. And like
mm,
that Sheltered by Ghosts in the mono red deck is a problem.
yeah.
And then they've gained enough life to where, as a mid-range player, you really need to do work, and they're just going to keep on swinging. So that's what I've
No,
been seeing.
that's a challenge. Yeah.
What are you playing against a lot right now?
Definitely seeing the mono red decks, for sure. And then just I don't know. I still think there's a lot of diversity. I mean, obviously we're both playing in gold right now. So we're not like at the top levels of, what the meta is. Um, but I don't know what else I've been seeing on the ladder. I mean, just craziness. Craziness. Reanimator, right? That's another big one.
That's
So,
huge.
yeah.
That's Valgavoths. Just Valgavoths all
Uh,
day.
yeah, and
Attractive.
Atraxas still, yeah, too.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm more afraid of the Valgavoth because you can't use removal on it.
Yeah, yeah. No.
So
Is it Liliana the Veil that when they get the loyalty up, they're able to do the ultimate and make you separate
yes.
your permanents into two piles? Yeah,
Yep.
I mean that's still happening out there too.
Yeah, it is.
Shieldreds are still happening out there. You know,
Yeah.
uh, Mondrax are still happening. Infect is still happening. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
Infect is still happening. I love seeing that.
crazy.
When I see that
Yeah,
Venerated Rot Priest come out, I'm like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
Kill it, but that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yep, yep. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, there's a lot of diversity there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Are you liking the bounce deck? I know that's what you're playing. Do you feel comfortable? Like, is this a zone that you're enjoying, or do you want to build something new with the new standard set?
I'd rather be playing something different. I would say I'd rather be playing like a Abzan pile or a Naya pile or something like that. I guess Naya is not one of the clans in Tarkir, but uh, but yeah, no, I think actually this is perfect transition into what deck archetypes might be viable with the new set coming out.
Yeah,
Right. So
absolutely.
have you been tinkering with that at all? Have you been looking at what you're gonna build, what you're gonna play when the new set is released in standard in particular?
Yeah, yeah. I have 3 decks that I'm working on right now.
Awesome,
Yeah,
cool.
they're
Yeah.
in the fetal state still, but they're definitely getting worked up because a lot of them are mostly dragon cards. So
Okay.
I need to wait till
Yeah.
the set's out to really test them to see whether it's really going to work. So that'll be.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
you though? Do you have any builds like kind of sketched out?
I do really want to try like a Mardu thing. Uh, I think Mardu is gonna be powerful uh, when this comes out officially. So there's a list right here that I'm looking at. Okay, Inevitable Defeat. I'm sure you have seen this card.
Yes.
What do you think about this one? I think it looks really good, but maybe just red, white, black would be enough for this card, right? The 4 mana is maybe a little steep.
I agree with you on that, because keeping up
Yeah.
4 mana for removal is a lot.
Yeah.
However, it's 2 cards in one. Inevitable. I don't know how to spell inevitable defeat, so I'm just gonna type a little bit of it and I'm gonna search for it. You guys learn a lot about me on my searches. Here we go. Okay, so it's 2 cards in one. So there's the red white card that lets you deal 3 damage. Helix Pinnacle, Lightning Helix.
Lightning Helix, yeah.
So that's going to be doing the 3 damage and gaining the 3 life. What they did is they also tacked on a removal spell for 1 and a black, but brought it even more powerful. So if you look at it like that, this is actually a really powerful card. You're getting the best. I mean, exile target non-land permanent. That's as good as it gets.
Right.
Banger. Cannot be countered. And
Right.
the way I'm looking at it is I get those 2 texts for 1 and a black. And then the red and the white's dealing 3 damage and you gain your 3.
When you look at it that way, it is really good. Yeah. For sure.
So I yes, 4 mana is a lot. It makes me hesitant to want to cast it. Maybe you only run 2 of them, but in terms of removal, this is doing everything and sucking you off too. So
yeah, so I'm interested to build something, I think, with this kind of theme to it. I probably would try out some Lightning Helix stuff too, possibly, and then maybe also I really like what's the one Angel? Damn, I can't believe I'm blanking on it now. It's from Dominaria, but it's like a Mardu one as well.
Oh, Aurelia. Right? Aurelia is the one that deals double damage.
I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Right, let's see here. Dominaria Angels. Wait, what colors was it?
It's Mardu.
Oh, Mardu. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mardu Angel from Dominaria.
It's white, and then you can pay.
Angel of Wrath or something like that.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like Angel of Fury.
Archangel of Wrath, I think it is.
Archangel of Wrath. All right.
I think it's Archangel of Wrath.
Yes, yeah. Where you could pay its extra cost.
Yep. Here we go. So it's got kicker, black and or red, flying lifelink. When Archangel of Wrath enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it deals 2 damage to any target. And then if it was kicked twice, it deals 2 damage to any target again. So, and because it's got the life link, you gain that life too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good.
That's pretty good. 6 mana, you get a 3/4, deal 4 damage, gain 4 life.
Yeah,
that's value,
and it stays with wild looking. Right?
Those eyes are a little buggy.
Yeah. No,
that bitch got crazy in her eyes.
Nasty.
Yeah, fucking a lot of wrath in that angel.
Yeah. That's why she got the black, I guess.
The black and the red. Hell yeah. I love it.
So I don't know. I think there could be like an archetype like that could be viable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can be playing all of these cards that are constantly draining and hurting your opponent while you're attacking, I mean, that I hate to say it, but you could put a scroll and crawler in here, and also they'll take damage every time they're drawing a card. So as they're looking for removal to get rid of these things, scroll and crawler, and it's card draw for you. So
I was gonna mess with that the other day, though. I guess the only thing with it, and obviously you can build around it and make it work, as I know you've been, but you do give them card draw with that card, right?
They get one card on your upkeep, but so do you. So it's you're never giving them advantage over yourself.
Right.
And even though they got it, it's like, there's a little razor blade in the apple you gave them on Halloween, so
damn, that's messed up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would try plugging in the I guess, I don't know, the Elspeth Stormslayer. It's really trying to do token stuff.
Yeah,
in
but
particular.
Mardu is the home
Yeah,
for Mobilize, so you're
right,
going to be making a lot of
right,
those 1/1 warriors if you're in Mardu.
right. And
So
then maybe do war leaders call as well, right?
yes,
That
so
one.
we're on different sides of the same coin here with Mardu.
Yeah,
Mardu is one of the builds that
yeah,
I'm working on.
yeah.
Um, Joel had mentioned Zergo is one of his favorite cards from the set.
Mhm.
Zergo is the Mardu guy who mobilized too, but he says on him, warriors can't be sacrificed, which means
Okay.
as you make your tokens, they don't have to get
Mhm,
sacrificed. So
mhm,
my idea for Mardu is to either go the way of mobilize as much as possible with Zergo
mhm,
and have war leaders call out.
mhm.
That way, every time all of these warriors are entering, they're dealing
Yeah,
damage and 2/2s, and they
right,
don't sacrifice.
right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Nice.
that's a good way. There's
Yeah.
also, and then the finisher would kind of be you also play all out assault. And all out assault is warriors call where it pumps them up again, and they have death touch.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right, right.
and then it also gives you an extra
Nice.
combat phase and everything. So like that's a win con right there on just
Yeah.
tokens. And if you have Elspeth in there, you're going to get double the mobilized warriors, which aren't going to
Mm,
leave. They're going to be dealing damage.
yeah,
That's a whole thing there. The
yeah.
other side of Mardu that I was looking at is Nerev, Heart of the Storm. Uh, if a creature you control entered, it would deal
That would
damage. It
deal
deals twice
damage.
that damage.
Hmm.
And there's
Okay.
the red curiosity, that wolf or dog.
Mhm,
Whenever a creature enters, it gets haste
mhm.
+2/+0.
Okay.
I was thinking of just playing a bunch of dragons with Nerev, and if I have that dog out, all those
Mhm.
dragons are going to come in with haste +2/+0
Yeah,
and deal double damage. So,
that's
like,
crazy.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at Mardu, and I'm building two totally different shells
Mm.
separately to
Yeah,
what you're building, which
yeah,
is really cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely, but I think there's gonna be something in Mardu that's gonna be powerful then with all of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. They got the best removal, they got the best protection. I mean, you still have just go for the throat and sheltered by ghosts. Like those
Mhm.
are powerful
Yeah,
tools to be put into whatever you're building.
yeah,
So,
yeah. True, true.
what color would you build next if not Mardu?
I guess probably Abzan. I'm definitely gonna tinker with something in there. I guess I'd probably end up still trying to do something with Thalia and the Gitrog monster and you know, I don't know, so some sort of recursion like that, some sort of sacrifice and draw and recursion type of
Yeah.
thing. There's still so much good stuff there with Mosswood Dread Knight. Um, Honest Rutstein is a great card. I kind of spec'd on that one because
Yeah.
grabbed those for like nothing, and then now they're a couple dollars as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
so Honest Redstein, I know is the highlight of it is it can pull anything from your graveyard back to your hand. Um,
mhm,
but really the fucking sell of that is creatures cost one less to cast.
right.
And no
Yeah.
one talks about
Yeah.
that.
Right.
That
Right.
shit's real.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I'd say it
Yeah.
makes it super cheap to, all of a sudden you're dropping extra things out of your hand, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah. No, it's a problem.
um, yeah. So I'll probably be messing with something like that. That I did pull one of that Abzan legendary. I think it's a human. Let's see.
What do you got?
What other shells are you doing?
So my last shell, because those two are the first of them, is I want to do two different versions of Mardu.
Mhm,
In the very beginning, I have to be careful of overspending my wild cards, so I'm using the same mana base to kind of build two decks.
mhm,
But my other one is going to be mono black, and it's going to be built around the legendary enchantment that was released in this new set. Let me pull it up here. The Sib Sig ceremony. I've been talking about
hmm.
this for a few episodes
Okay.
now, but I finally I have it put together. So the Sib Sig ceremony is black, black, black. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Whenever a creature you control enters, if it was cast, destroy that creature. Then create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. So ultimately, any creature you cast dies, and you get a little 2/2 zombie.
Okay, interesting.
What do you think of this card? Do you like it?
It's definitely interesting. So, I mean, now just noticing that it's 3 black pips, probably trying to do it in a mono black thing as well. But it's built obviously around this whole mechanic of sacrificing. Like, you're probably playing bigger things and putting them into the graveyard. You're playing a 4 mana thing for 2. It's going into the graveyard. You're getting your 2/2. And then are you trying to play some recursion to pull that thing out of the graveyard onto the battlefield?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I want my cake and I want to eat it too. So I
Right.
want it to die. I want any ability that causes things to die to get an advantage. I want that zombie to come out and get an advantage. I want to get that creature back out and get an advantage from that. So the goal is to take this negative ability and turn it into something really good. And because of the 3-year rotation, I think we have enough happening in standard to where this can actually be, I won't say broken, but can be abused very well.
Yeah.
So here's what we're pairing this up with to get it started. Here's the core.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So the first and foremost, let's keep it nice and simple. The Abyssal
Abyssal Harvester.
Abyssal Harvester. So
I picked up 2 of these in the dollar bin yesterday.
Nice. Yeah. Yep. I mean, so 3 mana, 3/2. You can tap it, exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put in there. This turn, create a nightmare, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare. Exile other nightmares. So ultimately, you cast something big, it goes away. You get the 2/2. You tap the harvester. You get it out anyway. That's all right. It doesn't cheat anything out or anything. So it's just a part of it. Now, the next thing we're going to mess with is, I got to go backwards. We have Meat Hook Massacre 2.
Nice.
So Meat Hook Massacre 2 says whenever it enters, each player sacrifices X creatures, where X is what you pay for it. Typically nothing, maybe 1. Whenever a creature I control dies, I may pay 3 life. If I do, return it to the battlefield under my control with a finality counter on it. So if this is out and I cast a creature, the creature dies. I pay 3 life. I get the creature back. Whenever an opponent creature an opponent controls dies, they may pay 3 life. If they don't, I get that creature. So this is a way of just having it out there. Okay, maybe I'm not cheating anything out of my graveyard yet, but I'm able to kill some things. As things are dying, I can get stuff back. So we got a nice little base going on. The best part of this is actually going to be the Infernal Vessel. So Infernal Vessel is a 3 mana creature, 2/1. When this creature dies, if it wasn't a demon, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with 2/1/1 counters on it. It's a demon. So for 1 black mana, you cast this, it dies. You get the 2/2 zombie out. Then you get a 4/3 demon in addition, because this will come back out. So that's a good way to do it. We also have Unstoppable Slasher, which when it dies, return it with stun counters on it.
Nice. Yeah.
So a 1 mana Unstoppable Slasher. Yes, please. Aclazotz, if you cast Aclazotz and it dies, it'll just return as a land. So you cast Aclazotz. Yes, it dies. You get, Aclazotz was 3 mana. It dies, you get your 2/2 zombie. It goes out as a land, and now you've ramped, which can possibly bring it back if you want. If we could always talk about Drivnod, which is the Phyrexian Horror, the Dominus. It causes creatures dying to trigger things twice.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure exact statement is if a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So if you have Drivnod out, you will be getting 2 zombies. And if whatever's dying on it enters has an ability, that'll also trigger twice. So, Drivnod is going to be a 3 mana creature, and you could do it. What's up?
The Abyssal Harvester is a demon too, right?
Yep.
How you got? Are you thinking about doing any Unholy Annex?
Yes. Yes.
Shenanigans in there.
However, so Unholy Annex will allow me to draw that extra stuff. But in terms of doors, I was thinking of the funeral room because I only have so much spots in here. But so funeral room says whenever a creature I control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. So as everything I cast dies and it brings out the zombies and the zombies die, it'll keep draining. But the big thing about this one is the second side of this room is Awakening Hall for 8 mana. Return all creature cards from my graveyard to the battlefield. So I think this might end up helping me more. However, if I need card draw, I might have to run.
You honestly could probably just like run one of each or 2 of each or something like that, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Honestly, that's probably the best card draw for this. I was looking at running Phyrexian Arena, but you're right. That's actually just better for Phyrexian Arena.
Unholy Annex is pretty fucking good.
All right, good call. That'll be in here. Another cool card in here. So Overlord of the Baelmerk is a great card for this.
Nice.
Because it'll come out. I don't think you have to destroy it because it comes out for its cheaper cost, not as a creature. So that'll get around that. And I think you can still cast it for cheaper. But Solemn Simulacrum is going to be a banger in this deck because for 2 mana, it comes out. I draw a card, I ramp, and I get a 2/2 zombie.
Nice.
So,
yes.
So that's just it.
That is like the ideal thing to do with that, basically, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously I'll have some Valga Vaults in here that I can bring out in different ways. But really the best way to bring out some of these cards at dying is, here we go, Vat of Rebirth. I'm going to pull this one up because this is a card that's been sitting around standard forever and no one is taking advantage of it yet. So
I've seen you put that Rebirth. I've seen you play this in Commander even, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely run this in Commander. 1 black mana. Whenever an artifact or creature I control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on it. For 3 mana and tap it, remove 4 oil counters from Vat of Rebirth, return target creature card from my graveyard to the battlefield.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the turn 1 play. Just drop this, and then anything that dies, it doesn't say non-token, so even these little 2/2 zombies are dying. 3 mana, return something back. So. And then it's like, oh, but this is going to be a little slow. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this so fast. Bro, it's mono black. I'm going to have 15 removal spells and board wipes. So,
well, so also when your zombies die, this will work with it because tokens actually technically hit the graveyard and then disappear, right? So yeah, interesting.
And then also there's Undying Malice in here too, which is that 1 mana. If a creature would die, return it to the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. So like at the end of the day, because I'm casting my creature for 2 mana less, cast it for 2 less, use the 1 mana to Undying Malice it. It'll die. I get my zombie, and it comes right the fuck back with a 1/1 counter on it. So here's the goal. That's where I'm at. Do I put some DC in here? I don't know.
Do you ever experiment with going over 60 cards?
Only if I'm going to be overdrawing. Like if my card has my deck has a lot of draw, or self mill, which this will have a little self mill. So yeah. I'm not against it. I know there's people out there that are like, you can't. No, I've definitely limited and constructed. I'll run extra in there. I'm not.
I mean, I've made it work before. I think I've definitely made it work before. I was running an Abzan pile, I think just before the most recent standard rotation, and it was like 74 cards or something. And I don't know. I played it in paper even and was winning with it. So.
Yeah. I mean, that number is only for variance. If you need to see this 1 card in your opening hand, You have to run 60 in order to get the best
right,
odds. But like,
right.
if your deck is
Yeah,
cohesive and you're not looking for a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 play, if you're in the
yeah,
mid-range area, yeah,
yeah.
65, hell yeah.
That was definitely, well, that deck I would say was like, you know, ultra mid-range, just dirtle around. I was running that Outlaw Medic in
Yeah.
there, which is just I feel like that's a very like gum up the board type of creature. You know what I mean? Because it's a blocker, and then it die, like you kind of want it to die so you get the card draw and you gain some life, and you know. And then I was playing like Honest Rutstein, so you know, then I bring that back and I play it for 1, and then I do the same thing again. Then I, you know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
kind of, you know, be obnoxious like that. So
hell yeah. Yeah, do the thing.
yep. Yeah. So bunch of good stuff. Now, are you getting any of the commander decks or anything?
No, actually,
No.
I'm gonna be breaking up commander decks. I know
Yeah.
every episode I tell a different story, but
No, I mean,
I just haven't broken up.
have you seen any cards from this commander set that you're interested in?
No,
No.
not really.
Yeah.
I looked through them. I mean, they're all cool. They're all
Yeah.
doing things.
Yeah.
A lot of them are dragon based and everything. Dragon isn't
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
my biggest thing. I like dragons if they're good dragons, but it's not, definitely not my tribe of choice. So
Yeah. I'm with you. Nothing too intriguing me from the commander product from this set either. I think they're probably all good value and stuff, but you know, I looked at the Abzan list, and there's so many staples in there, and I'm like, I don't need to, you know, pick up another, you know, staple product that's going to give me another, you know, duplicate card of all the cards I have already. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm looking through right now some of
Yeah.
the commander ones, and honestly, there is one that's
Yeah.
got my nipples
Yeah.
hard. We got this Canopy Gargantuan. Let me pull that up
Okay.
here. Boop, ba-doop. Yo, so I honestly, if I could get my hands on this card, I'll be very happy.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
5, 6, so it's a 7-mana 7/7 flying ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a number of 1/1 counters on each other creature you control equal to that creature's toughness.
Nice.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a lot of 1/1 counters.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's a little steep at 7. I mean, I feel like this is just for like a big, you know, green Timmy deck. Right?
Yeah.
You know.
Hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, just if you have any creatures out, so all right, so what I'm looking to have this in is in a Bumbleflower.
Okay.
Just because it's this big creature, and I would do it where I cast it and everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? And be like, listen, I won't swing with it. It's got word 2, you don't want to waste removal on it,
Yeah.
And then it would just make Bumbleflower huge in 1 turn, and I'll kill someone, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't know, you should have killed it. I don't know.
I didn't swing with it.
The dragon's still over here. Don't worry about him.
Dragon's not the problem.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you got a few decks that would hold a Canopy Gargantuan happily. Right?
You know, I don't know.
You don't think
strayed...
food wouldn't like this?
Oh, I'm sure it would, but you know, I've just strayed so far away from the big green creature things, I think, you know.
Okay, so how about little green creatures? I mean, okay, you have a bunch of 2/2s, like Sam and Frodo. Okay, the first turn you're putting 2-3 counters on it. Still, dude, 2 to 3 counters. I mean, we pay 4 mana to put 4 counters on creatures. So if you can get them to, and then the next turn suddenly they're like 9/9s, just Frodo and Sam just all swole and roided up, I don't know.
That's funny. No, that's good.
I don't know. I like that card though.
It was
but no,
funny.
I won't be getting any.
It was funny yesterday when when I was looking through the dollar bins. Like I don't know what it is. Sometimes you go like I went, a few weeks ago, and it just seemed like everything was super picked over. Like I was looking through bins and I'm like, there's nothing in here.
Yeah.
And then yesterday. I feel like, I don't know, they must have added some stuff from some other collections or something, because I'm digging through and just finding gems.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, what
so
you're gonna have to do is, and honestly, this is probably maybe a tradition that me and you do is like a
yeah,
week after each set, we go
right,
dig in those bins
yeah,
because
yeah,
everyone's opening up boxes for certain cards. They're throwing
yeah,
all of the extras in these,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we just do like our
yeah.
you know triannual post
No
set
doubt,
dig.
no doubt. Yeah, I mean, to mention a couple of other cards that I had picked up in there that were really good value. I shortly after Bloomborough, I got a couple of Caretaker's talents, and those spec'd up to like $19 at one point, I think, or something.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
looking to buy one right now. Actually,
yeah.
next time I'm at the shop, I'm gonna buy myself one.
I think I only have one copy of that now, but
Yeah, yeah, it's time I grab one. That's a good card.
um, got that. I got a couple Kitsa Otter Ball Elite. It's the blue otter with prowess
Yep.
from Blue Burrow, and I like that card a lot. I picked it up. I think it was only like $2 at the time, and then same thing, that went up to like 9. So
Well,
so
if Jeskai builds end up showing up in standard, I think Kitsa
yeah,
can. I mean, because prowess is what
yeah,
it's trying to do,
right, yeah,
and she
yeah,
does card draw. So yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, yep. I dig it. And then got a couple of Court of Ardenvales as well.
Nice. Any court is good.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I got a Court of
Ardenvale's a
Grace
white one.
too.
Nice.
Yeah, but Court of Ardenvale, yeah, Court of Ardenvale. Well, I think it's
The blue
it
one?
was a no, it's a white one as well. I think it's from I think it came out in the Wilds of Eldraine um Commander
Mm,
set, and it's kind of like a more pushed Court of Grace, basically.
okay.
Um
Nice.
let's see. You gotta show me how to pull things up on the thing still.
Oh, fascinating. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm already
All
on
right.
the
All right. So I'm
all
over
right.
here
So
just looking it up on TCG, like
what are we hitting here? We're hitting up the court of Ardenvale
Court of
first.
Ardenvale. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So our Court of Ardenvale is the 2 white white. When it enters, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. If you're the monarch, put it right onto that damn battlefield. And I love that it doesn't say creature; it says permanent.
Permanent.
So
Yeah.
anything land, anything you want, get it.
Yeah. So I think this card's pretty sweet. Really.
Yeah.
I haven't always played Monarch that much, but I feel like this one, I don't know, that return target permanent with mana value 3 or less. Hopefully you're gonna get at least one trigger off of this before somebody takes Monarch from you.
Yeah.
So
And even if they do, it still goes to your hand, I mean, so it's
yeah,
not, just recast it. It's a 3 mana thing. You're obviously on turn
right,
4 plus. So
right, right,
yeah.
yeah,
No, it's fucking value.
yeah,
Value.
yeah.
Because
So that's like
at the very worst, it gets taken and you never have the monarch for this upkeep. For
right,
4 mana, you
yep,
drew a card because you became the monarch on
right,
that turn at least.
right,
And
yep,
on your upkeep, you're getting a 3 mana card to hand. So that's 4 mana right there.
yeah,
Like that's already worth it. Everything else is
yeah,
gravy.
yeah,
And then Court of Grace is 2 white white. And when it enters Monarch, your ass. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you're the Monarch, make a 4/4. Boom.
yeah.
Bangers.
So similar, but yeah, I think the Court of Ardenvale is just a little bit more pushed because playing the cards that are playing more cards in your deck, I think, is probably a little bit more value even than making 4/4 angel tokens.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
so
Dollar bangers. Dollar bangers.
I love it. I love it. I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna make you a shirt that says that. Dollar bangers. Put some money signs on it. People won't know what the fuck that means.
No. Gotta be careful where you wear that.
Yeah, kicked out of a fucking Starbucks for that one.
Could see it. They're too uptight there. So
Yeah. Fucking good coffee though. Hey, good
yeah.
coffee.
I'm with you. So any other cards? Anything else you want to mention?
Well, we'll cover more cards the next time we're on. Now, listen, next week I am going to be at my knife show for the weekend. If you and Joel
Yeah.
can get on, that would be great. If not, we're going to be taking another week off. But I do have a secret surprise that I want to mention here. What I tried to do is I tried to finish it, but I replayed Final Fantasy VII. I've
Nice.
spent the past 2 weeks replaying and getting ready, and we are just about done. I should have beaten it today, last night, but my ass was tired. So I'm going to be playing through it. Once I finish 7, I'm going to replay through 9.
Nice.
And get as much Final Fantasy VII knowledge back into me as possible. Let me just say, this game looks like cat shit. Final Fantasy VII is as low poly res whatever. Dude, I'm enjoying it so much. The story is great. The gameplay is fantastic. The strategy, it's
I know they did a great job with it.
It's a pillar to gaming, and I was ready to play it just to like say I played it and get the story and characters. Dude, loving it. I am absolutely loving it. I recommend anyone who's
the music, the soundtrack, man.
Oh, so good. So good. And I fought my first little cactus guy, and I beat him, and so I hit him first shot. When he showed up, I used my most powerful magic spell, whooped his ass, and he gave me 10,000 gil. That's what I got from him. So
there you go. Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm excited.
No, FF7 is a classic. I love 9. I really I booted it up recently. I didn't really get far into replaying, but I'd like to replay 9. I wonder I really would like to play the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I wonder if they would actually do that with 9 as well.
I'm sure they would. My problem with the remake is they redid the combat system and the story and everything, so it's not really a remake. It's just
it's a reimagining of it for sure.
Where my thing is,
I like it though.
I guess I've never played one of them with that combat, but I'm such a turn-based fan that watching you just slam around buttons, and it's like that's like God of War. I'm looking for an RPG, and that's my problem.
Well, it's I think their combat system, you're right, it is like God of War. It's a little bit more like like an Elden Ring or something like that too. I think one of the things actually that makes their gameplay style unique that they had in like Final Fantasy 15 and some of the other ones is that you actually you set kind of the actions and the weapons and the behaviors of the other characters too. So you're still playing a party. You know what I mean? You're controlling one player in particular, but the you still have a party, and then you probably can do like attacks where it's like they like combine their powers or whatever, that type of thing.
Okay. All right. So I'll stop talking bad about it. After 9, I mean, I'll play one of the new ones. And give it a try. I gotta. I'll give it a full open arms, mind open embrace, and give it a go, because I mean it's got a huge following, and Final Fantasy fans would shit talk it if it was a problem. But I've never seen anyone who plays them be like, "Oh yeah, the combat sucks now." So
did you play? You didn't play 15?
No.
Okay, well, that probably would be the one for you to go for, because the FF7 remake is not on Xbox. It's only on PlayStation. But 15 is solid, I would say. I enjoyed it. It's not exactly what I probably wish they would do with the series, and I know they put out 16 as well already, which I have not played. But I did like some of the aesthetic and some of the gameplay and stuff from 15. So I think you might like it as well. Yeah. But no, I'd really like to play the FF7 remake. We'll see. We'll see about that at some point. But
and listen, when I do 9, if you want to try to play through 9 with me, we'll do a team playthrough. But
that would be cool. But yeah, either way, definitely excited for you know, the Final Fantasy Magic crossover set, Universes Beyond, coming up
for sure.
But I'm sure that's a pre-release that I will be there for. You know?
Oh yeah. We have to all be there. That's going to be a good one.
Once in a lifetime, right?
Damn straight. Anyway, I think this is the bottom of the glass, man.
Yes, sir. Yep. Appreciate you coming on today, and I hope the rest of you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be in the garage. I have 4 days of capable knife working left before my show, and I am nowhere near ready. This is going to be a crazy week. So
I know you'll get there. You've been putting out some beautiful knives. So
thank you. Yeah. I'll get there hell or high water. I don't, but fucking stressing me out. So that's my goal. And then I have a Deftones and Mars Volta concert on Wednesday. So
sweet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Gonna be a good time.
All right.
Take it easy.